What is going down, Sony fans? And welcome to the MacGyver7 channel. My name is Mac, and we're going to get into the beta expansion of what PlayStation 5 has entered. We're looking at 3.11 now. It's a journey to the next step and what they're adding into it. Now, we've already known about the M.2 and its expansion, we've known about the 3D audio, and we got a little bit into the detail of what they were going with the UI expansions. Now, this brand new update is going to be ironing out some more stuff, and we're going to take a little look at it as it installed smoothly onto my system, and it seems to be operating quite well. If you're newer to the network, you can always like, share, and subscribe, and in company with that notification bell to get all the future updates. So let's go ahead and scroll into it. I was met with this update shortly. I went to the website to see if it was one of their officials, and it was not. It was the beta update. Which brings us right over here. Now, we can quickly scroll up, and I will scroll down very slowly so people can see the M.2 information. They can see the 3D audio information, and again, this is very subject to change. A lot of these things are going to happen. Now, the end library is pretty cool. For as far as the installed tab is now the first tab, you'll see making it easier to find games that aren't on the home screen, and that has been one thing for me personally. It's been a little bit frustrating, but also it triggers updates only when they're on the home screen. I've noticed you actually have to manually go find them, so it's like basically when they're not on the home screen, the PlayStation's like, oh wait, oh yeah, you are a system game that needs an update. So there are going to be some cooler stuff for the under the install tabs and the tiles. You can clearly indicate the platforms for the PlayStation 5 and 4, which is really cool, and I'll show you guys and gals that later on. I thought that was like a way cooler look of it. Reminded me of like looking at the old school like freaking like CDs and like getting your freaking case and you see that emblem, like, oh yeah, that's a PlayStation 5 game. It kind of reminds me of that. It's very nostalgic, so they did a great job with that, I think. And then under the collection of tabs, you can see that the game titles display the number of versions available to you that you have entered multiple versions of a game, which is very interesting. You can have that versionable point. You can also now hide the games in much more hastened fashions. You can see that the in-game base is one of the bigger things that they come into for as far as adding some cooler stuff. For as far as control menu, you can see that the following will be the party text chat and the send messages to the game base control, as well as the owner parties. You can delete it, and the game base control, so inside of that you can basically take care of deleting the party very quickly. That's what they're trying to roll out to. Now you can see many of your friends are online, busy or offline in the friends tab, and on top of that you can now accept, decline, or cancel multiple friend requests at the same time. To do so, you can go to friend requests, go to the tabs, received, and seen, and you can see this multiple portion. So it's pretty cool. Now the trophies, I was more interested to see what's going on with this, because personally myself, that excites me the most. And you can see that they have updated the following. You can now track up to 5 trophies per game in the control center utilizing the trophy tracker. Now starting the tracking of that, you can see that it comes down to by starting the tracker. You can go ahead and do that inside of your settings. On top of that situation, for as far as playing a game, you can now easily access information about trophies you've added to your tracker. On top of that, for as far as the also inside of the view trackers, the pin side mode inside of the information about the trophies during the gameplay. So they made it way more digestible for you to look at something and go like, okay, cool, I really want to try to get these trophies. Am I making a dent inside of these? Because I mean, how many times have we been back and forth, back and forth? This is just easy. So I like what they're trying to orchestrate here. When viewing the trophies list, on top of that, for the stars, the display and the vertical instead of the horizontal, you will be able to hopefully get some more information while selecting inside of there. There's a control center they're trying to update for as far as the customized control centers. It's more freely, and you can sit there and have more of the rearranged points. There's also a lot more into the introduction of key features. You can see that they're going to go ahead and enable the screen reader for the following portions by pressing pause screen reader by going to the PlayStation button, and I guess square no longer, but just a triangle, old school. Just bam! Just press those in synchronization to result inside of a screen reading thing. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of like AI-ish, but like you can now make your screen reader repeat anything you read, which is really freaking cool because you can read it and have it long, or the kid can learn on top of that stuff, which is pretty chill. On top of the situation, or as far as pressing the wait a minute, I wonder if that would work right now inside of this. Hold on. Well, they have some stuff to hammer out. The function for repeat
error history
is not an error,
button.
but when you want to
Press
disable
cross
it,
to report
which
error
is, it's
history.
kind of annoying. I literally had a video about how to
Error
just
history.
do that. It doesn't work.
Report error
Unfortunately.
history.
So,
Button.
looking
Report
into like
system
where this
about
is going to
report
go,
system
we're going to
error
go ahead and
history.
get back to. This is one of the joys of doing the beta program. You do see a little bit of kinks along the way, so they definitely need to iron that out. There's other updates that are going to feature for as far as what you can see inside of the leaders. This is going to be for players who craft and plan strategies. You're going to be getting a lot more of those opportunities after online matches when you want to encourage positive behavior of all players. Basically what it breaks down to, and their elongated BS, which is really confusing to just look at that, is that yes, they're going to give you karma points. So if you've been a good player on the field, you're going to get good points, and that's basically how they're going to kind of roll out their system. That's strange, but you know, hey, I guess we're being graded on how good of people we are. So be a good sport, you know. Playing a game, even if you lose, it sucks, but be a good sport about it. Basically, that's what they're saying. You don't have to. I mean, that's the world of, I guess, we exist in. People are who they are. But Sony is trying to make a good behavior system, I guess. Moving on past that, you can see that the PlayStation Now, as they've updated inside of that following for the stream connectivity, inside of the test, identifying problems inside of there. You can look at the maximum stream resolution and the optimized points of game performance for what you can go into now. And the Game Hub for PlayStation Now is scheduled to be removed, so you can try new games or play your favorite while you are still available. So they're doing a lot of stuff, which is interesting, and removing some stuff. It's kind of a little scary too. We'll see in due time. I'm sure they'll release some more factoids about that. Now, for as far as when completing challenges in the higher score, you can set a new personal best and automatically take a video clip, which is pretty freaking sweet if you think about it. And you can go inside of there for as far as setting, camera, capture, audio, challenges. You can kind of set that up. Pretty sweet. Personally, myself, I think that's a sweet part of the update. You can see suggestions inside of your control center for friends inside of the play. Now you can join previous sessions a day before it suggested and appeared in your friends, as well as the portion of the stream PlayStation Now. You can see the same games where people have been playing, so they're making it more PlayStation-esque. Then you can see the more improved portions for parental. They've given more portions control on those community features between the guardians, whatever, yada yada yada. So it's going to take care of kids and let parents do the job, which is cool. So good job, Sony. Cleaned up that spilt milk. Now parents are happy. The kids aren't. Moving on to the media gallery, you can see where we've added the new front and the fonts. The front and those new fonts. The text you can add inside of the screens for as far as the available inside of creating menu. They've added a few. You can go to manually record clips. So it seems like a lot of this is like giving the player a lot of media intertwinement, like kind of like what they did with the broadcast, the challenges, shortcuts. So definitely check that out if you're trying to make a lot of clips just from your system and trigger those. Now you have the option to do so. You can now select whether you receive notifications on your PlayStation 5 by going to the user account and all this other stuff. But the main, bread and butter of this is the notifications, and they pop up. And now you can see that there's going to be a list, and you can turn off the sound and the notifications, which is really sweet too. A lot of the stuff seems very basic. I guess one of the big takeaways of that is that you can receive it through your email, which is pretty sweet. Moving on past that, for as far as notifications you can get when logging into the PlayStation 5, an accessory with a microphone is connected to mute status. And I kind of like that, if you can just switch over to mute instantly, especially if you're trying to run like a stream with just gameplay or anything like that. That comes in handy. It's not something you have to remember. They've also simplified the process of connecting and disconnecting when setting up your internet connection. The task is made a lot easier when adjusting the 3D audio, which has been stated before throughout this bigger portion of an update drive. You can look at these settings right over here in order to optimize this once this goes live to everyone else. Now you can see that they've improved for as far as quality of the audio in some of the games with those 3D headsets. They also have Pulse 3D wireless headsets can now be accessible with EQ features, and you now can have you block someone. And so you choose to leave a party, they're at the same time, you won't leave the party, including the players. So you have that option. You now have two separate controls to include mic audio in your broadcast. There are two more controls doing the same video clips. Oh, that's sweet. That's actually, wow. It's very well encouraging, like multiple headsets and people buddying up and streaming and doing the co-op thing. That's sweet, man. You have more of that. For all you guys and gals out there that are streaming, this should be a nice little up for people that just have a console and don't have a whole bunch of computer hardware trying to get it. That stuff is really hard to get nowadays. But moving on past that, you can see that the portion of dual sensor wireless device has been improved for as far as where you can see that below is just the M.2, and our ending notes pretty much come right over here as they've improved some stability within that DualShock controller. Now we can see that DualSense also gets a device software update inside of there, and you can check for it. Mine did it automatically. It was pretty sweet. But for 3.1, let me see if it has a newer one, which seems like mine's up to date, so we are definitely good here. But everyone, if you are newer to the network, you can always like, share, and subscribe. Helps me out as a creator, is absolutely free, and you'll be getting more of the cutting edge news as it rolls across my network. So as the 3.11 or 3.1 to make it short has gone live for most people, these are a lot of the features that they're trying to hammer out in there. Doesn't mean that they're going to be out there. It just means that right now in the testing community, this is what we're testing out, and some of these may be there, may not be there. Now, one of the core features that I mentioned earlier that I thought was really cool, as you can see, the emblems underneath the PlayStation games now have their corresponding PlayStation 4 and 5. I think that's, it's okay. It's pretty sweet though, in my opinion. I think for like looking at something, I don't know, for aesthetics, they did a good job there, personally in my opinion. But what do you think in the future that they need to implement inside of the future updates? What are problems that are plaguing the community of people that are actually playing these systems that have finally gotten them? Leave a comment down below. I'd like to hear what you have to show. So I'll see you guys and gals in the near future. Stay safe, stay classy, and I have to get ready for a Watch Dogs update.